Okay.
The Discord pop out thing does not work anymore. I don't know what happened.
What, the video thing?
Yeah, to like pop out all of our.
Okay. Well, we're live. And
Hey,
you want to tell them what we're doing, Cody?
yeah. Well, guys,
Is my cut out for you, or is it just me?
yep, cut out for me too.
Okay,
Right.
I'll say what we're doing while Cody tries to fix this.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, tonight we're going to be trying to do a video game console tier list. Try to figure out what our favorite video game consoles are. And then after that, we're going to play some Apex Legends. How's it going, Cody?
Well, he's muted in the Discord now.
Oh,
The stream has ended. Not the YouTube stream, but the
yeah.
sorry, the Discord stream. I should specify.
Cody?
Okay, I've got the webcam back. I've got the stream back. He's
Still muted.
testing.
Yeah, I can't hear
Oh, well,
you.
we can't hear you.
It could have been better timing.
Yeah, chat, it was working just fine 2
Oh,
minutes ago.
I can hear Cody, I think. No, I heard him breathe.
Oh, wait, yeah,
Well,
wait, I hear him now.
I can hear you breathe, but every time you go to talk, it stops. Is it something? Do you have like a plug on that's like dangling or something?
How about yeah,
It's-
is it the PlayStation headset? Is it taking over your audio? It shouldn't.
I heard that. Um,
Yeah, oh man, that's why you don't mess with those wireless weirdo headsets, Bluetooth.
I guess let's do some of the worst consoles.
Yeah, just drag all the Atari shit into the who cares.
Oh, I can't because Cody's doing the.
Oh
list.
my god. Professional streamers.
Well, where would you place Game & Watch? Oh,
Oh, he's gone again. Honestly, I mean, so with these old consoles, you know, looking at the longevity of them, like the influence on the industry, all that shit.
Hello?
Okay, I can
Hey.
hear you now. Your
Oh my
webcam is not
God.
on. And also I
Okay,
don't
okay.
have the stream, the tier list.
Boom. I think we're golden.
Okay.
okay.
I think we are too.
All right.
Nice.
Anyways, Casper explained it. We're doing a console tier list, all right? But first, all this shit in the bottom, who gives a shit? Like, does anyone object to putting Atari down there?
I feel like the first Atari should be somewhere just because of like
Okay.
the significance.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
That gets a significance. And
Okay.
Game & Watch does not get a significance vote, but
Yeah. And then we got some of the weird, like the Nokia N-Gage,
Oh,
which
is that
had
what
like
that is?
4. Yeah, that thing is weird. I held one in real life and it's not comfortable at all. It's like kind of curl your hands like that. We have the Jaguar, who cares? TurboGrafx 16, I'm gonna say who cares? Executive decision. Sega Game Gear. It's a portable Genesis, I think, which is kind of cool, but
didn't that thing take like 6 D batteries and
Yes.
die really fast?
yes, it did. I get what it's trying to do, but
Yeah, usability.
mhm.
Don't know
Okay.
what that thing is, the Game Boy, but not.
I
Oh,
think
actually, I have a Sega portable.
you have the Game Gear.
Yeah, the Game Gear. The
Here, I'll scroll down here.
The
I used
for
to-
you to see.
the I don't know, like the black one. You know, on the first
Oh,
row
this-
at the end. Not the
Oh,
not the
yeah,
one that
this
looks like
one
a,
here?
yeah, that one. The one that looks like the Game
Yeah.
Boy Advance. I had that one.
Yeah,
I
that's the
played
Game Gear.
Sonic
yeah.
on it. It was actually pretty cool. I had a Jurassic Park game too. It was
Um,
not
so
super good.
yeah, right. I was gonna say. So would you do you want to put it in F? Because I could put it in F.
Yeah, you gotta at least put it in F because I care.
Okay. Alright.
I played that game a ton. It actually was pretty cool, except for the fact that it just chews through batteries.
Right.
But
I
oh,
was gonna
actually no,
put-
I did have the charger for it though. It came with like a rechargeable thing.
Oh, it came with a
Hmm.
battery pack.
Yeah.
Okay. I think with all that being said though, I think this is a good start. And then we'll just get into it. What do you guys think?
All right. You want to start with the
So-
older ones?
Yeah, so you know what? I'm just gonna go however
Yeah, I
ordered
think
it
we
is.
should just go.
Okay.
So Game Boy. Where are we putting Game Boy?
I mean,
Portable NES, right? It defined handhelds, pretty comfortable, all things considered. Nice clicky buttons.
I think it should be
Um,
at least B.
B, okay,
At
so
least
that's
Yeah.
kind of
B.
I'm good
to
with
me.
that.
I'm good with it too. The only thing I'll say is that the later generations of the Game Boy, obviously improved on it, but went from like monotone colors or whatever, like green and black, to you can like barely even see it on the original Game Boy.
Does this account for Game
Um,
Boy Color too? Because I don't see that.
Oh, yeah, right. This is the
Oh, that's
advanced.
true. So
That's
I
true.
think we have to throw those in together.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they were,
maybe
like, a year
act like
apart.
this. Yeah, like act like this Game Boy is a Game Boy Color too.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with it being B then.
Yeah. It's hard to say because like now you play the Game Boy, it's
Yeah,
not bad, but it's just like nothing
Yeah.
special. But back then, it's like the best thing ever.
It was a tech dome. It's like the Wii U to the Switch. Like the Game Boy was kind of rough around the edges.
right. And then they perfect it. So I'll ask you guys though, are we taking into consideration the console's like library of games? Because I think we probably should actually.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, so without naming, maybe like obviously Game Boy has Tetris, and that was just like it's the best
Yeah,
game
like
ever.
the-
So
yeah.
greatest game of all time. All right, next we got the GameCube. The GameCube.
See, that
For me, that's
that
another
one
B.
is. Hold on. Eventually, I'll get my fucking bearings here, and that is near and dear to my heart. The exact Game Boy you see in the tier list, or GameCube,
Yeah,
you
the
see in the
blue.
tier list being on the shelf behind me. No, it's purple.
Purple. Yeah, of course. I'm
It's hard
colorblind.
to tell.
Yes.
Definitely not as vibrant. Mine on the
Mhm.
shelf here is the one
True.
originally. I think
4
you know,
players is
that's-
cool. The design of the console is pretty cool. It's got the
having
handle.
a handle. Yeah, like
Portable.
has any other video game console ever had a handle on it?
You could play
It
Game Boy
was-
games
so.
on it.
Yeah, there was that weird
Mm.
accessory to do that.
Right, because it does have right, it's disc based. Tiny
The
weird
tiny-
discs.
yeah, the little cereal box discs.
Yeah.
You- I was gonna say for me it was B, but I think it might be A for me.
I
Okay,
agree.
so-
I agree with A.
Okay, so I was thinking B, so I'm just curious why you guys why you bumping it up to A, Like it doesn't matter overall.
Got
exactly.
Mario Sunshine. It's got Melee. It's got
yeah.
Wind
Melee.
Waker.
Yeah.
It does have a lot of good games.
Luigi's
Animal
Mansion.
I mean,
Crossing.
It's a Nintendo console, so of course it's gonna have a few good games at least. But GameCube had a lot. I wouldn't say it's S because console-wise, especially for Nintendo, it didn't actually do that great. Like I'm pretty sure at that generation,
Oh, yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation 2
Mhm.
did way better.
Yeah, overall. Luigi's Mansion. I'm just reading off some of these games here.
Oh, Double Dash Mario Kart. Double
Oh,
Dash,
Double
the best
Dash.
Mario Kart to exist. I'm looking at
Metroid
my
Prime 2.
my remaining
Pikmin,
collection on the shelf down here for
Paper
inspiration.
Mario, Thousand Year Door. Yeah, Animal Crossing, of course. Yeah, I would bump it to A. I think that's the controller looks like shit, but it really is like one of the
It
most
feels
comfortable
so
of all
good.
time. Yeah,
My controllers from this GameCube, they still work great. Like I'll still use them playing Smash Bros 20 years later.
Twilight Princess, Resident Evil 4. You already said Melee, Metroid Prime 1. Yeah, it goes in A.
Oh, I forgot about Metroid Prime. I love that whole series.
So next we got PlayStation 2.
Yeah, we're getting
S
into the stuff that I never had.
S tier. I love
So
PlayStation
okay, yeah. So the thing with the PlayStation 2, right? Um, doubled as a DVD player, which was
Mhm.
huge. That was like why it sold so well, is because it was cheaper than most DVD players at the time.
2. Oh,
Um, the DualShock controller is tiny. It's good when you're a kid, I guess. It's pretty comfortable, but it is just like insanely small
yeah.
by today's standards. What are you thinking, Casper? What are you thinking for the PS2?
I love PS2. I mean, it was one of the best-selling consoles, right?
Yeah,
It
the
just had
game library is just.
I think it
huge.
still is the
I think it
best-selling
is.
console.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Um,
I mean, there's a lot
I
of
would
I
say.
thought I heard some absolutely crazy shit about them like still making this console until like 2020.
They
Like
they
they
were
shut
still
down
making games
production of
for it
that
for a really long time.
recently.
yeah. I think a
In
game just released for it like 5 or 6 years ago. A game released for it. I think.
so because of in countries like Brazil and stuff, I guess like the import taxes are like so they're more on like the older generation of consoles. So
Mm.
for a while it was like PS2 was just there because they
Hmm.
couldn't get any of the newer consoles. There must be some like laws and stuff as well. Hopefully Brazil's the correct country that
Not
that is
just
the case for.
oh
Tony Hawk Underground, Kingdom Hearts, Ratchet and
oh
Clank
I
Up
like
Your
Kingdom Hearts.
Arsenal. Yeah.
I don't. I mean, for me, it's S tier, but it's up to you guys.
Okami, Jack and Daxter, Devil May Cry, Eco, God of War. I think it goes
No,
A
I
or
never
S.
had one. I think it goes in S just for like that. That's
Yeah.
I don't know that when you think of video game consoles from that generation,
San
that's
Andreas,
PS2.
the trilogy of. Yeah, I would say S. I love my. I dropped it down the stairs actually, and it got a big dent like this. So every time you put a disc in, it would shred the disc like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Um, all right, next up we got Sega Genesis.
Like that's a classic. I mean that sparked the whole console war originally.
True.
Like that is the console war to begin war. That's like the
Sega
two
does what
Neanderthals
Nintendo
throwing
don't.
rocks at each other.
True. Um,
What score did you say?
uh, was it?
Or did either of you guys say what score?
Nah, I'm trying to think. I would say maybe like D, but it might get bumped up to C just based on like it being classic, maybe. But I don't
Yeah,
really care about Sonic. I'm just gonna say
I
it.
would say C. I mean, if you look at like the tech behind
Right.
the NES versus the Genesis, the
It did
Genesis smoked the NES.
16-bit graphics.
And like Sonic 1, that still looks pretty good. Like
It looks
graphics
good. It looks
still
good for sure.
look good. So I know, like kicking Nintendo in the butt to get them to really work on the SNES.
True. So
Starting
yeah, I
the
would
whole
say either
console
C or
war.
D, but
I
I'll
would say
defer to you
C.
guys on that one.
Yeah, I
I
would say
vote
C. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely
Right.
not D, I don't think.
Obviously they had a lot of fighting games on the console.
Yeah, the arcade stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of,
Yeah.
strengthening the at-home library so you didn't have to spend all your quarters.
Right.
So far we have almost every tier filled.
That's
Yeah,
good. You
hold
want
on,
like a
we're-
nice distribution, right?
Mhm.
I think like typically you'd want most of them to fall in C, so it's kind of like a little mountain sort of thing, like a curve. All right, PS3. PS3. When it was announced, it was like 600.
$599 US dollars.
That was a lot.
It
I
had a
got one
Blu-ray
at
player,
launch.
though.
Had a Blu-ray player.
That was huge at the time.
The games for it, like from PlayStation first party, were some of like the best ever, but it was so hard to develop for because it has like a different architecture than what was going on.
Yeah, like they still can't even emulate it really.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
I'm still hung up on the fact that it was cheaper to buy a PlayStation 3 than it was to buy a Blu-ray player.
Yeah,
And now you can get a Blu-ray player for like $20.
yeah. The controller is still, it's still like
It's
pretty much
alright.
the same controller.
Yeah, like it's more wireless than the PS2 was, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more or less the same controller that just does its job. I think for me though, the library of games would probably put it like B, I think. Just to rattle some off. Here, I'll pull it up. You guys talk about the PlayStation 3.
I had one briefly. I had one to
Okay.
play like Skyrim, Far
Yeah.
Cry 3, Dishonored. I got it like 4 years into the console lifespan. Started playing some more Nintendo, like mature, not Nintendo stuff.
Did you
Because
guys
I had
have
been a Wii guy.
Right.
Go ahead.
did you guys have the movement, like the
I didn't
camera?
have PlayStation Move. No.
I had PlayStation Move. It was terrible.
You want me to? So because because of PlayStation Move, you want me to put it to F? Little Big Planet 2, right? You got
Little Big Planet was good.
Arkham City. Of course, these are not, they're multi-plat.
I would say
Resistance games were sick.
I would say B. I mean, it had a lot of good games, and it was a solid console. It just,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
like the development for it was hard, but I mean, who cares? We weren't developing for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't hard enough that it didn't have like all the multi-platform stuff. Like it's not like Xbox
Yeah.
was suddenly getting tons of stuff that was exclusive by, just because it would have been too hard to put it on PS3.
True. That was like my first experience with like online gaming. I just remember playing like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Because I was a PlayStation kid growing up, not an Xbox. I didn't have an Xbox 360 till way later. Of course, you got GTA 5, right?
Oh my god.
Which just got
forgotten about
re-released on
that.
PS5.
Uh,
BioShock, the Uncharted games, Last of Us, Portal 2, that was exclusive. So yeah, of course, Dark Souls, Demon Souls. Yeah, I'm
mm,
gonna put that in B.
yeah, definitely B.
All right. Next up, we got the SNES, the SNES.
16-bit, right? Was that one? Yeah.
Right. Or yeah,
I feel like the SNES goes into S tier because
I
that's like
think
It had a
it's
lot of good games.
that is the
what I
library
was
is
thinking,
so
like-
stacked.
Earthbound, Mario World.
Yeah.
Who else was
Uh,
there at the time? Like, who were they competing with? Was there anyone?
I think that's kind of when Sega started to kind of trip on itself and start doing weirdo shit like every 2 years that nobody really bought.
Yeah, that's because at that time I bet the Genesis was still going strong, but then like they probably had the Saturn come out like
Yeah, like the next thing didn't work. Atari was releasing a bunch of crap that didn't work. Like everybody was just tripping over themselves to release new stuff, like dethrone the SNES, and nothing worked. So
So here-
Nintendo was just sat back, like making
Right.
their cash.
So here are just a list of games, right? And they're all pretty much bangers. Harvest Moon, Super Mario All Stars, which is like that's like 1, 2, and 3, right? And yeah, I think so. F-Zero, Secrets of Mana, Super Mario Kart, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So that's how it got, it started having more fighting games as well.
That's Yoshi's
Donkey
Island, I
Kong
think.
Country, Yoshi's
Oh,
Island,
Donkey Kong Country.
That
Yep.
was a good game too. Yeah.
NBA Jam, Super Punch Out, Super Mario RPG, Mega Man X. Aiden already said Earthbound. Super Mario World, you already said.
I was gonna say A tier, but now that you're listing all the games,
Right,
thought I-
Super Metroid.
Yeah,
A Link to
these
the
are like-
Past, like
Define genre, define genre, define genre,
Yeah.
define genre, like just going
Yeah.
down the list.
it's got to be. Plus, the controller is just so sick. Like the controller is actually really good.
Yeah, like the controller that they designed then became the basis for face buttons for controllers that we're still using
True.
like 30 years ago or 30 years later.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I would agree it's S tier.
All right, we got the Switch. The Switch is next. Even though you can't see the controller, that is the Switch, just based off the screen.
F. I'm not happy with my Switch. Like, there's good games for it, but it's just
Yeah. I
I
think the 2-in-1 nature is just so sick though.
D.
I mostly use it in I will say I mostly use it in handheld mode. I really don't put it on the TV.
Oh, oh shit.
Yeah, what was that? Was there anything
I,
bad there?
I don't think. Well, there was the weather that could have been configured to show your location, but I don't
Oh,
think it was
true.
set up. So I think it
Just
showed somewhere
actually
else.
dox myself. Thank you, Windows 11. Um, so yeah, I mean the library games, the 2-in-1 nature of it. I don't know.
See, I
I'm
think
thinking,
I'm putting it in A because it has in my mind it has really good games. Asterisk, you've already played half of the library if you
if
had
you
a
had a
Wii
Wii
U.
U, right?
That's my big thing. Look,
I
I've
had
been
a Wii
talking
U.
about that for
Right,
years.
right,
Like that has
right.
pissed me off. Like 2021, here's Super Mario 3D World again.
I,
It's like that game wasn't that great.
The
It was
controllers
fine. It
aren't
was a
so
good
good.
Mario
Like the
game.
Joy-Cons kind of suck.
it's definitely not better than PlayStation 3, in my opinion. So I don't think it
Yeah,
should be higher than B.
probably like end of B. Oh yeah, so for those that aren't aware, we might like rearrange things within a tier. So things more to the left are like the top of that tier. So I'll put it for now. I'll put it at the back of B. You know, hell, we can move it to the top of C if you guys
I
want
see.
later
No,
on.
I
But
I think it belongs in B because at the same
okay,
time you have like all the stolen Wii U stuff.
right.
You've got Fire Emblem Three Houses, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the
Pokemon
Wild. Kinda, if you
Arceus.
that one, Breath of the Wild is the only one that gets a pass for being on the Wii U
Yeah.
because it was kind of a Twilight Princess style, like
Yeah.
Hmm.
end lifespan of one, beginning of the other. Animal Crossing. Did I say
True.
Legends Arceus already? Like it reinvented Pokemon finally after 30 years.
Yeah, I think B is a good spot for it for sure. Um,
Metroid Dread, my game of the year
Odyssey,
2021.
I haven't got to play that yet.
Super Mario
So
Odyssey
I
is
think,
really sick.
Honestly,
yeah,
B is
it's
good.
it's a console that sits on the shelf a lot for me, and then
yeah.
I'll get
Yeah.
a new game for it, and then that's the only thing I do for 2, 3 weeks, and
Mhm.
then it sits on the shelf for another 6 months until something comes out.
Yeah, and I will say too, the Joy Cons are fine if you're holding it in handheld mode. In my opinion, like
Mhm.
it could be just bigger overall, but yeah, I think end of B sounds good to me. All right, next up we got
Oh,
3DS.
that's an S tier. That's an easy S tier.
The library games is pretty solid,
Over
right?
time, yeah. Because
I would say
so
maybe
I
halfway through I stopped using my 3DS like
mhm.
altogether, but it's got a great library of games, right?
I
Yeah, I
did
don't mean
use
to
my.
brag, but I was a Nintendo ambassador who bought a 3DS on launch when it had its stupid high price, and they brought it down like
Very
$100
expensive.
six
Yeah.
months
Yeah.
later. So
Um,
that was one of the OGs of the 3DS, and it did not have games at the beginning. Like they really ramped up the games on that one over time.
The 3D sucked. Like, it
Oh yeah.
worked, but
who played it in 3D mode, right?
That
Like,
was a gimmick
yeah.
for the first 6 months you had one, and then you turned it off because the battery
yeah.
life would double when you did it, and it didn't
Does
make a difference anyway when it was on.
does this count as the new 3DS too? Like, are we lumping those together?
Yeah, and the XL.
Okay. The new 3DS, it had like an eye tracker, so that if you turned the 3D
Right.
on, you could
Oh
use
yeah.
multiple angles.
New Leaf, we got
So many good Fire Emblem games,
There's a
a
few
bunch of
Mario
Pokemon
games.
on there,
Link Between
like
Worlds,
really
pretty
good
good.
handheld Marios.
I did use the
Right.
3DS a lot. I mean, it had Pokemon X and Y, which before that I kind of stopped caring about Pokemon for a while, and then I
Right, that
came
got you
back
back
because of
in.
that. Yeah.
We got some good Zeldas on there.
Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon.
Hmm.
Kid Icarus.
Mario Kart 7 is pretty solid. Oh, I love the Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, like the RPG games.
Yeah, like I don't know, they had kind of caught their stride using the two screens. They had
Mhm.
some more hardware to put, some graphics and stuff into.
I feel like S might be a little too much.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like I was looking
Um,
back at my library and I'm like, maybe this is just an A tier.
I'm thinking A tier. It was a really good console.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think the XL is like super solid too.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, it
the
was a really
first
good place
3DS.
to have. Like, if you look at the game library, your game
Yeah.
library was also the DS and also the Virtual Console. Like, that's a big thing because it
Yeah.
True.
wasn't
Virtual
just
console, yeah.
Virtual Console like on the Wii U where you're stuck on your couch. It's like play all your SNES games, on a road trip.
So yeah, I think end of A for now is pretty good. Um, which would bring us to the DS. But I want to focus maybe more on the first DS was kind of shit, but
Yeah,
then the DS
the
Lite,
Lite.
yeah,
There was
My
the DS, the DS Lite, the DSi.
my
right.
now that I'm thinking about it, I never actually thought about how stupid this was, but my family is like a DS family because my sister had
Yep.
the original DS, my mom had a DS Lite, I had a DS
Whoa.
XL, my dad had a DS XL.
Yeah, like
Nice.
all the different models. The
Yeah, yeah.
DSi was really nice.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Oh,
super
that's
nice, but
right.
you lost the Game Boy compatibility.
Yeah.
I forgot about the
Yeah, that's
DSi.
the
We
only
had
thing.
that too. We had like all the DSs. I don't know why we had so
Yeah,
many.
that was the one with the camera.
Yeah,
I
I have
think
a light and an eye
Yeah, I think the
still.
Lite, in my opinion, is like if you were gonna get a DS today, like in the secondhand market, I would go with the Lite
Because
just
then
because
you
you
get
have
the
the
G
ability.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go into the bathroom in my house now, there's still a DS with the Tetris Game Boy in it. Just
Just waiting for someone to use the bathroom and play it. Dude, those things like last forever too.
they
That's the
do.
funny part.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
I packed up all my old video game stuff like 2020.
Yeah.
We were selling our house. It stayed in a box in my apartment down here 2020 to a year ago. And I popped all that stuff open in this new apartment that I had more space in.
Yeah. It's
Everything
still
still
full
had
chart.
battery,
Yeah.
like literally everything.
I don't know how Nintendo does it. I found a Game Boy Advance in my closet, and it was just in there for years. I booted it up and it
Yeah.
still worked.
Dude, that
I,
that was me like very like over I think Thanksgiving. I opened up a Game Boy Advance SP and it still had juice.
yeah,
And I haven't touched that thing like 8 years for real.
I don't know how they do that.
So I'm kind of torn actually because I personally like the DS Lite a lot more than the 3DS, but the 3DS is back and pat with all of the DS games. So like that just by default might be higher.
Yeah, I was gonna
I,
But
w-
you
I was
lose the
gonna
Game
put it
Boy
in
with the 3DS.
I was gonna say S tier because it's the start of the dumb dual screen portable games that we love. But I might also just be saying S tier because that's just like one of the big
Yeah.
things I grew up with. My
Mhm.
whole
Like
family grew up with
for
it.
some reason, I want to bump the 3DS down to B and like maybe top of B and put the DS in its spot, like an A. But I don't know if that makes any sense because you can play all the DS games on a 3DS.
I don't know.
Like I
The
think
3DS also had like 3DS Online Play was pretty good when it existed. You have that
yeah,
sort of thing that
It
didn't
just had
really
online
exist on the
play.
DS.
It just sucked.
it
Yeah, like
sucked really bad. Yeah.
It was really bad.
So I don't know. I'll defer to you guys. I'll put the DS Lite. If I had it
maybe we
my
just
way,
do
I
it
would put
in
A,
A.
but
I think we agree
At
to
least
disagree
A.
and put them all in A.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, the
All right.
DS and the 3DS are so similar. They're pretty much the same thing, just
Yeah,
newer.
Okay. All right. Now we got Xbox One.
big yikes.
Um.
Oh,
So
not the first one though, right?
yeah, not the first one, right? So the Xbox One kind of sucks. Am I wrong?
I never used it. I never
I
even
never used it
cared.
either. That's pretty much the vibe I got from people who had used it, though, is that the Xbox One is trash.
Is
Like
it
you
like
have Connect and stuff, and like there's pretty much like no games for it.
Dance Revolution?
I mean, these days, it has the benefit of
Being
having Game Pass and
right.
cloud streaming some of the Series SX games.
Yeah.
So
I
But I
was
that
think
In the recent years, that bumps it up because I mean, PS4. If you can't find a PS5 to upgrade, you're out of luck. But Phil
Yeah.
Spencer's kind of like dangling the carrot a little bit.
I would
I
say
think
If
maybe-
you
D.
can't find a
Yeah, I
series.
think maybe D. Like it's not complete shit, but at the
Mhm.
time, like especially like if you're like if you went from 360, which was like, you know, I don't know, who knows where it's gonna end up on the list, but 360 was so sick. And then you go to the Xbox One, it's such a stark difference. Like, what the hell do you play at the time, right?
Mhm.
The controller is still super good, obviously.
Yeah, because I mean, they never changed it.
Yeah, they just perfected it and they just kept it the same. And like that Game Pass stuff's only recent, right? So like,
yeah.
like if you
Yeah.
ask like a year ago, it wouldn't have all that stuff and it'd still be kind of shit. So I think D. That seems like a good compromise. A D.
Yeah,
All right, I got three.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
actually, yeah. I was gonna say maybe C because like the console itself isn't bad.
It's not-
just there's
right.
nothing for it. There's nothing going for
Yeah.
it.
Could this even do Blu-rays? Does anyone know? Maybe like a later one could.
Oh.
I don't actually know.
Hmm.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the list of exclusives for this, and
Yeah, read them off
holy-
for me, man.
Just
Read off
love them.
some. Like, what do we got? What do we got?
a bunch of Forza Horizons 2, 3, 4, and Motorsport 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
Gears of War 4 and 5, Halo 5, Ori, Crackdown 3. Yeah, but like you get past Forza, Halo, and Gears, and it's like the
Yeah.
real low quality stuff.
Yeah.
Couple Dead Risings, and I don't know, people like those, but I hate zombie games.
When your girlfriend
They made
brings in rolls.
We
Girlfriend
got
brought us rolls.
Can you play-
Rush, a Disney Pixar adventure.
Oh, you can play Halo Infinite on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
That's what Aiden's saying, like the backwards compat kind of thing, like play in the cloud
Yeah.
on like better tech and it streams to your shitty Xbox One.
Is it just streaming or is it actually like you could just play Halo Infinite on it?
I don't know about Halo Infinite. I think it might be something weird, like the campaign was streaming only, but they got the multiplayer working because it's smaller scale.
Okay. I would
Something
say
like that.
maybe C just because they're still supporting it even though they have newer consoles.
Okay. End of C sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone listened to the stream, by the way? Is there like sound?
Oh.
Yeah,
no,
I had it
haven't
going
checked.
a little bit
All right. As
at
long
the
as there's
beginning because
sound.
I have it up on my phone with the chat.
All right. Now we got 360. I think 360 is at least A. Just because, so when I was in the trenches, right? PS3 guy, just looking across and like hearing about all my friends playing 360, how awesome it was over there. The controller's super awesome. The online's like way better. Xbox Live was popping off. So I think I want to put it at least like top of B or end of A.
I'm thinking maybe more towards B because I don't think it's really that much better than the PS3. I had the Xbox
I also
360 too, but
You gotta knock it down for the red ring, like starting a lifelong
Oh.
meme of hardware failure.
It's true.
The Xbox 360 homepage went through so many changes. Have you guys ever seen like the original one and how bad
Right.
it is?
Yeah, it's like I don't know how to describe it. Like you're opening up like a book, like each page.
Yeah, it's like different panels. It's like this
Yeah.
futuristic green puke
All right.
color.
We got the OG Xbox.
It had Psychonauts.
Did it?
That's
I
true.
didn't know that.
But I played Psychonauts on PS2, which maybe came, definitely probably came later. But where are we putting? I don't care about that original Xbox. I'll be honest with you.
I don't really either.
Yeah,
Um,
again, that's a generation when I was happily playing Nintendo stuff.
Mhm.
Didn't even realize anything else existed.
Honestly, only like game I can think of for the original Xbox.
Halo.
Halo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what other console was introduced by The Rock and Bill Gates?
Well, the console has a controller called the Duke. I mean,
I know.
the crazy controller.
I would say C. Like it's.
I would
Yeah, like,
say end
Pretty
of C.
solid entry to a brand new console manufacturer.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, some people would
Alright.
probably put it in B or A, but we don't really care.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I never had an OG Xbox. I had a 360 like near the end of its life, and then didn't have an Xbox One. So
Yeah.
there is definitely like from the three of us, there is a PlayStation and Nintendo slant. um,
Mhm. Until
yeah.
now, later we'll get to the series. And wait,
True.
I just noticed they have the
Oh,
red
two.
ring. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just noticed there's the red ring of death,
not the OG white
Xbox
one.
360, and the redone
Yeah.
one. So why don't we put the red ring in D? Red ring will be our
Yeah.
entry to round out the list, and then we can leave the good one in B.
So one thing I will say about this Xbox here, it did have cool faceplates you could change.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's true.
So yeah, this looks pretty good so far. All right, now we got the Wii. Where are we putting
I
the
say
Wii,
that's
guys?
S tier.
I had a lot of fun with the Wii. That was the best Christmas present I ever got. I still remember it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a box with a Wii and like a ton of accessories and games. Guitar Hero 3
Yeah.
on the Wii. You had to like put the controller into
yeah.
the.
Did you guys have
It was
the
like
Into the
the.
Wii remote. Yeah, it had like the hole in the front that you
Mhm.
would shove the Wii remote into.
Yep.
Did you guys have the drum?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
had the drum.
Not for the
Yeah.
Wii.
I had the
but-
drum for the Wii.
So let me refer to a list of best Wii games because I think I want to agree with you, Aiden, like S or A, but I just got to pull up the games for it.
I think I agree with S. Like
The Wii, oh man, it's another console that I have where I'm like, oh my god, the software lineup is so good, and I'll grab some remainders from my collection for this console. One sec.
All right.
I
So we do while Aiden's grabbing that, we do got Mario Kart Wii, which is like a lot of people. It was their Mario Kart. Like I know Riley had a Wii. Everybody had a Wii. That was a crazy
everyone
thing.
had a Wii. Our
Yeah.
Mario Kart. Wii was my first Nintendo console.
Wii Sports too is just like probably the
Everyone
greatest
had
packing
that.
game of all time. Yeah.
So we got some of the stuff I still have from this generation. We have Sonic Unleashed. Still got that. Sonic and the Black Knight. I still got that. Mario Super Sluggers. Now this one, this is an actual this was a good game, but this was a very doing this motion a lot with your buddies game.
Galaxy. That's it.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2. Like
Yeah, okay.
that,
Put it in S tier, Cody.
Yeah, definitely. S is good. You sold me. I remembered Galaxy, and I was like, oh, okay. But I will say, dude, just the memory of my mom playing Wii Sports, the boxing, is just like imagine just tiny Asian woman just punching.
yeah, like there's no other console that ever got like grandma
to play like
to stand up
golfing,
with you and play. Yeah,
like all their other consoles, or like the 3DS that had the virtual console too.
Mhm. True.
Yeah, like it was
S for
starting
sure.
to get into that kind of download games.
Yeah,
And I will say
Third-party stuff.
the design of the console itself, it's pretty sleek. It's a pretty good looking console.
If you got it early enough, it could play GameCube games too.
yeah,
natively.
that was mine.
Yeah, the controller ports up the top. SD card. It had like this weird it's the channel system, but it had like news and stuff.
Everybody votes. You could make polls with your friends.
I forgot about that.
Just like really weird stuff. So yeah, S. It's like a really weird side of Nintendo, but it was.
But it
super
worked too.
successful.
Like they
Yeah,
could
it
have just gone with the gimmick and made Wii Sports games where grandma swings a tennis racket, but also like you have the Mario Galaxies, which are just really, really good.
Yeah, definitely yes.
All right, now we're on the
The
NES.
I had
Does that get S tier too, just for the history of it?
At
I-
least top of A. At least top of A, I think.
I played the NES when I was really low. Not that I'm that old.
So I will say, and we haven't got to the wait. Does this not have a?
Hmm.
This is missing the SNES. Oh, wait, he did it. Never mind.
Oh
Forget
yeah,
it.
we already
Yeah.
did it.
So I do think that the SNES is way better than the NES.
Yeah.
But you're right. The history aspect of it.
Yeah,
Mm.
like I think you can go back to SNES games and play those today, and they're still like they're designed well.
Yeah,
like,
a
the
lot
game
of the
design's relatively modern.
NES games are kind of
NES
Like,
is to
dumb.
me, I feel like the NES games are a lot of the times kind of like Dark Souls games where you enjoy them if you already know front to back the entire game and every character that shows up, every place, everything they're gonna do, every enemy, every hit percentage they have, every hit
Yeah.
pattern, and you just memorize and you like aren't even thinking about what you're doing. You're just going through it and you know it perfectly already.
I was little when I played it, and I had a Xenomorph game, and I had no clue what was. I think it was called Xenomorph or Xeno something, and I had no clue what was going on in that game. And we had like Zelda, you know, the original Zelda, which is also a good reason for that to go up to S, just because I mean Zelda, Mario, all of like
Yeah.
Metroid.
Yeah, like the amount of franchises that have survived as long as they have coming out of there.
Like if you
Super
released
Mario
it
Bros.
today,
3.
it would suck. But I mean,
Yeah. Castlevania 1, 2, and 3. Contra, like the best. It still holds up. Contra does for sure.
Zelda 2 sucked. I didn't
Yeah.
like that.
I think there's like a handful, or maybe like 3 handsfuls of like good games, like really good games. But then
It
the rest of it's just
I had
the
Duck Hunt.
wackiest.
Duck Hunt
Yeah,
with
that's
the gun, the power gauntlet. I had
Yeah.
the
Or
mat,
Glove.
the mat where it's like
Oh,
a
the
bunch of
mat.
buttons
Yeah.
and you just step on it.
I want to say top of A. Can we compromise and say top of A?
I was thinking A too, just because I feel like it's mostly running on history.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
All right, now we got
What is
fuck is
this
this?
one? Yeah. Now we're showing our young Zoomer age.
Oh, is that
Oh,
the
that's
CD
like a
one?
It's a Neo
Oh.
Geo. I forgot to put that in Who Cares.
Oh yeah, get that out of here.
Sorry, if the developer of Neo Geo is watching, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's the one guy in chat right now.
All right. PS Vita. What's there to say about PS Vita? It bombed.
Not a whole
Had
lot.
some good games. The tech is super cool. Like the hardware itself, the Vita is so sick.
Didn't it have a touchscreen on the back?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
could.
You could
Not a
Yeah.
lot of games. Not a lot of games like mess with it. I loved my Vita like a lot. Like it was a great indie. It was my Switch before the Switch. Like I bought all my indie games on it.
Wasn't it really easy to pirate stuff on that? Like you could jailbreak that
So,
in a
some
second
point-
and
at some
pirate
point-
stuff.
Because it was more online, it was harder to do that. The PSP, on the other hand, was like
Okay, that
jailbreak
must be what I'm
machine. That's
thinking
why
of.
it sold so well, and like especially in other countries, because the PSP was like everybody's the jailbreaking it and just playing like all the games on the store and stuff like that or whatever. I'm gonna put PSP in D
I was thinking D too.
because the hardware is so cool, but because it flopped out of the gate, it didn't get a lot of support from Sony. Like they pretty much had like every developer under their all the Sony studios like try to make one Vita game, and they just never did well because the install base wasn't there for it.
Yeah.
I
I mean, it was competing with the 3DS, and Nintendo just had the
yeah,
whole market.
like before. Yeah, it pretty much shoved PlayStation out of portable gaming, right? So
Yeah.
dang, that's a shame. I love my Vita, but got to do what you got to do.
See, so do we want to rank? Do we want to break order and rank the PSP now? Because you're
Um,
you're talking about how much better that one is.
Yeah, the PSP I think would go in C, personally.
I had.
The
Did we all have a PSP? I had one.
Nope.
the discs were so weird. The
The
UMDs.
UMD. That
There
was the
a
future.
disc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
no,
wasn't
it's-
a cartridge.
It was
Well,
like
no,
a
it was
cartridge. It was like a
yeah.
cartridge holder,
Hold
but it had a
on,
spinning disc on the inside.
Yeah, it was a little like it was like a GameCube disc inside of a
Yeah.
cartridge. It was the future of CDs. CDs were
Yeah.
out, UMDs were in.
What the
They had a
hell
bunch
is
of
this?
movies too on UMD or like episodes of TV shows. Like I had a bunch of those.
UMD is like
Um,
something you would see in like an 80s movie for like a
Yeah, it
sci-fi.
is very future, but
cartridge.
it was. But at the time, it was kind of outdated. Like when the PSP came out, it was outdated, but it seems
Yeah.
like something that would be in the future.
Yeah.
I would say PSP-C. I think. Let me refer to some PSP games. I had
would-
Rock Band Unplugged.
It had
which was super
Lego
sick.
Batman, the first one.
True.
It had Daxter, which was a Jack and Daxter
spin-off.
spin-off, which I really actually liked. It was a really good game.
Secret Agent Clank.
It had
A bunch of
Scooby-Doo
Kingdom
game.
Hearts games.
Oh yeah, Birth by Sleep, which was weird. I mean, all Kingdom Hearts games are weird, but that one was also weird.
Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't know. I guess the library isn't super strong for the PSP.
Yeah. It had some.
Metal Gear Peace Walker and God of War Ghost of Sparta. Yeah,
It had a lot of games where they were trying something new,
true.
but they never really took off. So it probably is C.
I think C. End of C sounds pretty good. Yeah. All right. What we got here? The Famicom.
Oh, is that the
No,
Famicom?
that's not the Famicom. Famicom is like red or something, isn't it?
Oh, this is like one of those Pong machines, dude. Get me out of here.
Oh,
I think it's an Odyssey. Is that an Odyssey? We're
Isn't that
so
like the
Oh,
first
that
one?
might be the Magnavox Odyssey.
Yeah,
I would
we're.
say. I mean, historical value. I would say like solid D.
Maybe, but I don't think you can even name like any games for it. Like the hardware itself, like it predates the Atari, right?
If I remember
But-
right, doesn't it just have knobs for the
It's
controller?
Yeah, wait,
it's a
didn't the
box with
Magnavox-
two knobs on the side, right?
Yeah, no, the Magnavox Odyssey. If this is actually what we're looking at, didn't you have like overlays that you would put on your TV?
Yeah.
And the game console itself was Pong. Like that was the only thing it would
Mhm.
do. But you put an overlay on it, and you would be doing different things with
Different game, yeah.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
It tried to introduce like the So I would say F. You're right, Aiden. We should put it in the who cares.
Yeah. I don't think we can put it that far down into who cares, just because it was like the first home console.
Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis.
Every time I think of Sega Genesis, I think of
Oh
the
wait,
game with the.
Dreamcast, my bad.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. I knew. Okay.
We
The
both-
Every time I think of the Dreamcast, I think of the game with the fish that you talk to.
Yes.
Talks to, yeah, the creepy one.
The creepy human head fish.
Yeah,
It had Crazy
Mhm.
Taxi.
true. And that fish game was like in real time, right? Like you had to like actual in-game time to raise the dang thing.
I think so. I never had the Dreamcast. I've played
Me
on it
neither.
before. It's
The controller's kind of cool too.
Yeah, with the like cartridge with the
Yeah, it had,
screen
like-
and
Yeah.
buttons.
Yeah. The little tiny screen on the top.
I think
But the wire came out the bottom, I think, right?
no, I
It
think it came
looks
out
like
the
it
top
even from
or
just
the back.
picture.
It might have come out from like the back top part. I don't remember. I really don't remember.
I think it just comes at the bottom, which is
It's
like
the
super
bottom.
strange.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is okay. The Dreamcast, I feel like, is the same as the PS Vita, where it had a lot of cool games, and they were trying to like push it out, but Nintendo was just winning.
Sonic Adventure. It had Soul Calibur.
Actually, no. What time was the Dreamcast? Was that PS2 or PS1?
It has to have been PS1.
I believe so.
okay.
Yeah.
I just don't
Shenmue
remember.
2, Dead or Alive.
Dreamcast released 98. Oh, well, in Japan it released 1998, 1999 in the US.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Dreamcast, maybe in like D.
Yeah, I would say D or C for me.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. All right. What do we got next? The
Got the Series X.
X. So I don't have a Series X, but Aiden does, right?
I do. I've had it for 2 weeks now.
And like I have an S. Maybe this can be considered an S as well. Like not S tier, but a Series S.
Which, I mean, so if we're looking at tier list, the names of consoles straight to the
Oh
bottom.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what were they
Awful
thinking
naming
with the
scheme,
names?
Where
But I'm gonna be the
Game
hot take guy here. As an owner of both a PS5 and a Series X, and for a while a Series S,
Yeah.
I think the experience this gen of having an Xbox is much better than the PS5.
So I think that
you're happy with the fridge?
with Game Pass, like Game Pass is so insane. And
Yeah,
I'm
and Sony's already like, okay, here's our competitor. You're not getting anything day one though. It's
Right.
like, man, I
Day
could have
one
played Halo
releases.
Infinite first day. I played Forza first day. I played Psychonauts first day. And also, those aren't just third-person shooter, action, adventure, narrative-focused games. Every single one. So it's like Sony. People like PlayStation because it's a really digestible console. You get the
Right.
Call of Duty every year, and you get Horizon Zero Dawn open world collect stuff story game, and that's it. It's really easy to enjoy, whatever. But the Xbox, it's like a little riskier. Not everybody plays Psychonauts. It's a 3D platformer in the year 2021. It
Right.
was really good, but you gotta
it's good.
kind of, you've gotta let yourself in. Like you gotta go actually want to try a new thing. And then Forza, a racing game like collectathon, arcade, fun racing game.
Yeah.
And then Halo, like you're really hitting a lot of genres here.
I would
think,
say maybe bottom of A.
yeah, I would say that.
A? I don't know. I would think more like
I th-
B. You really
I
think it's
think
that good?
A. I really do because it's got all the multi-platform stuff that's on PS5. They look the same. Like it's probably got the same exact hardware as the PS5. It's just in a box instead of a weird. I don't even know
Yeah.
how to describe the
Yeah,
shape of the PS5.
Yeah,
The
the design of
controllers,
the Series X is a little
it's monolithic.
a little odd.
It's smaller than you would think.
Well,
It
Right.
looks. Prove it. Should I go like rip my PS5 and my Xbox out of the wall and compare them?
I would say end of A, beginning
I
of
think end of
B,
A.
but like probably more leaning to A.
I
Because I
mean,
think Casper just Game Pass is so sick. I sound like a Game Pass shill every time I talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I pay for Game Pass right now. I'm using it.
Yeah.
But
So the hardware is pretty incredible. It's got
Yeah,
Blu-ray. I think you can do 4K discs
You
with
can.
it too.
where did we put the Xbox One? I don't even see it.
The Xbox One is wait.
Oh yeah, wait, where did that go?
Oh, it's C. It's the black one right in the middle.
Oh,
right. It's too zoomed out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Okay.
tell what that was.
Okay.
It's definitely better than the one. That's 100% sure. So it's got to be
And
up here.
backwards compatibility, like if you've still got your day one Xbox games from 2004 or whatever, just throw them in your Series X. They'll probably work fine.
I would say B, but I mean, there's 3 of us, so if you two say A, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think I'm like right in the middle, but I'm leaning more towards A. So I guess back of A would probably be. All right. N64.
Does that get another S tier for like Mario 64? Like that, I feel like that's another just.
It is the party.
So many genre defining.
Yeah. I will defer to you guys. I never had a N64.
I had one briefly. I'm still pissed that I don't have one because we put it into a storage unit. I had one. We put it into a storage unit and then like didn't renew the unit, and it got on Storage Wars or whatever. Like somebody else has that now.
I didn't have an N64, but I played it a ton at a friend's house, or Christian's actually.
Christian, yeah.
Ever since we were kids.
It
every
is
time I
like
went
the
over.
party game, like 4-player.
GoldenEye.
I don't. Yeah, I want to say A, but maybe S. I'm not really sure. It is like one of the big games. I mean,
Super Mario
Yeah,
64.
like Ocarina.
Super
Yeah.
Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Probably S. I feel like we're putting all the Nintendo stuff in S, but I guess they do just do make good.
Paper
Well, we
Mario,
get the game in B.
That's
Star
true.
Fox, Banjo Kazooie, Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time. Yeah, I think if we
Yeah.
don't put it in S or A,
Yeah, like they
end
keep
of S,
just
top of
defining
A,
the genre.
I think we'll
Yeah.
get on a list somewhere. I think we'll be like hunted down in the street.
I mean, the N64, that was it the first console where 3D was like the focus?
Well, no, I think Sega hit it first, but Sega hit it first with a pile of junk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, they raced to it and really flubbed it.
Pro Skater 2 and 3, all the Mario parties.
I think the only problem with the N64 was they stayed with the cartridge, right?
Yeah.
That was a big
Mhm.
problem.
And that's like the classic
Or-
story, right? They were trying to work with Sony on a
Oh, yeah.
but they shot themselves in the foot and the deal didn't go through or something, and then they come out with the PlayStation 1, it takes off, it's super successful.
Yeah.
But I think the library of games alone, like you got, Rogue
Mhm.
Squadron, Resident Evil 2, Conker's Bad Fur Day,
Okay.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Uh,
It's a super strong libraries. I think
Yeah.
either S or A, but
yeah, I'm really not sure. We could put it in S for now and think about it
Yeah.
after we're done.
We'll reevaluate it.
all right. Game Boy Advance. I feel like this is kind of just maybe
think
like
that's
one
another-
step above the Game Boy. Like I don't know.
I don't have my Game Boy games lined up. I didn't keep the boxes for those, so I don't have them lined up on the shelf behind me. But I'm thinking like Pokemon really took off.
I don't know. I want to say A, but maybe B.
Top of B maybe.
Yeah,
The
let's
form
put it above
factor,
the
like, it is
360.
such a really nice.
It had a
like-
backlight, so you could actually
Yeah.
see games you were
Did-
playing.
Did the first Game Boy have a backlight? Game Boy Advance? I don't think
No,
it
it was
did.
just the SP. Okay, because
Yeah,
I
it was-
only ever had an SP.
Yeah, me too. I had a friend though that
Right.
had the old one and
Mhm.
it didn't have a backlight.
Yeah, they really improved it with the SP because the original took batteries.
I think
the
the
SP
SP
had a
is like
rechargeable.
the definitive like Game Boy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like the clamshell design is just so sick. This cube, the square.
It's so pocketable.
mean,
like
that was-
that is on the shelf.
That was
Yeah,
popular.
Actually, it's
Oh,
the
sorry.
red thing. That's my SP right there.
They came out too when flip phones were like
Hmm
that was what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm good with that.
Um.
Is that the Atari?
All right. Yeah, we got an
I think that's-
Atari.
Sorry, yeah, let's.
So the controller for the Atari is pretty iconic. Long joystick,
Not
with
good.
one button. No, it's not
It's
good.
not a good controller. It's
The
I mean,
games are
Atari
the
is known
graphics-
as like the first popular
Mhm.
home console.
it did cause the video game crash though.
Oh, with ET, or was it ET that
Yeah.
caused it, or I
It was
don't
like a
remember.
bunch of games, but ET, like they're like, oh, this game will sell so well, but it was shit. I think a lot of the games on Atari,
Well, bad.
Can we put
like,
that at
even,
top of
even if
the
it wasn't in
Justice
today's
League?
standards, like I think
Yeah.
the game's just bad. Also,
hmm
I remember I had. Wait, no, did we have an Atari?
maybe
don't-
like end of C, top
I
of
don't.
D.
Yeah, I don't think that belongs in C. I think D tier just because it sucks, but also it was pretty important.
I
But
didn't
then
have.
I can't put it more than
I didn't have the Atari, but
Put it
my,
above the Dreamcast.
my parents
Okay,
got
Above the Dreamcast, yeah.
my parents got like this. Remember those old games where it was just like the controller and you plug it into the TV?
yeah, plug and plays. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
had a
had.
SpongeBob one.
I did too.
I did
That was
too.
a joystick.
I had an Atari one, and the Atari controller was,
Mm.
and it had like a bunch of Atari games, and they all sucked. They,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was the first. Wait, where'd you guys put it? Oh, D. I
yeah,
would
we
say
put
at
it in
least.
D.
I would say C, just because it's like everyone knows what the Atari is, no matter how old
Yeah,
you
but
are.
it's so bad. It's so bad.
It is really bad, but it's
Yeah.
so prestigious.
I
It's
would
got
say I could settle for top of D,
look at
but I
that
don't
wood
know if I could
finish.
put it. I
Just
don't know if I could put it
I
at
want
the end of
consoles
C.
to have
I'm
wood
voting
finishes
D.
again.
Casper loves wood finish.
I'm keeping it in D.
All right, fine. If you guys
We'll
both want
compromise,
D,
Casper. We'll put it top
Yeah.
of D, you know.
okay.
At least it probably worked better than the 360.
Yeah, didn't have the red ring.
That's our criteria.
So, PS5. You know what's funny is for some reason I want to be like, oh, PS5, it's too early. Like the games, but we already did the Series X, and it's already way high up.
Yeah, if we have to, I mean, if
been
we're
at least a
looking for
year.
my opinion here, I would say top of B. I think it's not in the same tier as the Series X.
When
Yeah.
when did the PS5 actually come out?
Holiday 2020?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both holiday, right?
So
Around the same time, 2020. Yeah.
so it's a couple of years
Yeah.
old already, and there's really not. I think there's
Nah.
good games for it, but
Yeah, they're coming, right? Like they're coming. That's the whole thing. But yeah, they don't have. They're not firing off all cylinders like the Xboxes right now. You know, the controller is super sick though. I know Aiden's not sold on it.
I don't like it. I honestly, I think it's a Wii Remote tier gimmicky piece of junk.
Dude.
that- It's like, listen, the Xbox controllers now, they have vibrate motors in the triggers, like under the triggers, that does the exact same thing as all the weirdo
Yeah,
you're getting the
just have to
tactile
agree to disagree.
feedback.
Yeah, I think
con-
that's like best feature, honestly, for the PS5. But
Before I
see-
started classes, I was playing it like you hit the weekend. I'm rolling out of bed on Saturday. I'm hopping on the couch, and 10 p.m. that day, I'm going back to bed, like just degenerate fucking like piece of garbage.
yeah,
And my PS5 controller would die so many times during the day, and that thing is so hard to charge because it has to have like a data input to charge it.
Oh,
So it
you
has
were
to be
talking
plugged
about
into a
this, yeah.
laptop.
I just have the I have like whatever the dock, and I have one
I have
charging.
the dock too, but
and I
I
swap
I
it
shouldn't
out.
have to buy a second controller to be able to charge the one that came with my console. Like that,
you
it's
know,
just the experience of using it. I don't like it as much as the Xbox.
I like
Yeah,
that the Xbox controllers use batteries instead of having to recharge them, because you can
Yeah,
just get rechargeable AA batteries,
packs. Yeah, this
Mhm.
is true.
and I like those so much more because you can just pop them out and pop new ones in that are fully
Right.
charged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I've never been like a degenerate hours like Aiden, right? My gaming sessions on the PS5 don't last so long, and I always put the controller at the end of a game because I just put it on its charger anyways.
Mhm.
But I agree with you, Aiden. I think top of maybe like middle of the pack in B, like maybe even after the Switch, to be honest with you. Just based on like the game libraries alone, like if you put the Switch game library, it's early for the PS5. It doesn't have the years that the Switch does.
Well, I think I already mentioned how every game that Sony puts out, any of the first party studios, it's
Yeah.
action adventure, third person shooter, daddy issues / parental like story beat is getting to know your father figure. Open world game, maybe like that's 50-50.
Yeah.
Heavy focus on narrative.
For sure.
And there's your game. And it's like every single one is that.
Yeah, but I will say, like, out of those games though, like you have like some of the greatest games of all time, like God of War PS4, and like you might not agree, Aiden, but like it's widely regarded, right? Like
I haven't played
Last
it yet.
of Us
We'll see
Remastered
how
is
I
so
agree.
sick. Right.
Okay, so here's another thing. Speaking of that,
No, you don't have time for Last of Us.
I
wanna
wasn't even
hear.
going to bring that
Oh,
up.
okay,
I was going to say the experience of putting a PS5 edition on your PS5 is way harder than it has
Wait,
to
what do
be.
you mean? Like,
Well, yeah.
So when the day I got my PS5, I was downloading like Final Fantasy 7, 90 gigabytes or whatever, like horrific data size that is. So I was like, okay, I'll go to GameStop, pick up some PS4 stuff. So I pop in my PS4 discs. and everything has a different way that you have to go install the PS5 version. Like some
Oh, I see.
places you go into the menu, like you're looking at the home screen, you hit the menu button, and there's like download PS5 version there. Sometimes it's a separate entry in the store. So for every game I bought, I had to go fucking Google how do I get the
Right.
PS5 version
It's
of
not as
this?
easy as like
On
Xbox. Like Series
Xbox,
X, you just do it.
you get it is
Yeah.
one disc. Like if you're buying Halo Infinite, if that's even on Xbox One and Series X, you buy the one disc, you put it in, and it plays the version that you have like for your console. It's not a headache. Like
Yeah.
whatever you download, whatever you install, it's just the best version already. And it's like I feel like that's not a hard like user experience idea to have.
For
So I
sure.
don't know what the fuck Sony is thinking with like, like yes, we'll make them like really search for it. It was just too much of a pain in the butt.
I think so. I think that I think it goes behind the Switch for me. Does that seem fair or like make sense?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really
I-
care about the PS5. It doesn't have like anything right now that makes you want to get it.
Yeah.
It's so far
It is backwards compatible, but only with PS4, right? Like
But I
that's
have a PS4.
exactly right.
yeah,
so I
like most of the
think-
stuff I've played Spider-Man, Ghosts of Tsushima,
Yeah,
Ratchet and Clank,
and these are all
and
yeah,
Final
right.
Fantasy.
Like to your point, these are all PS4 games, right? Because so that brings us to the next one, right? I think PS4 is way better than PS5, at least right now.
I like the
Like
PS4.
better experience, like user experience. I might even bump PS5 down to top of C, and then put the PS4 like somewhere in this area.
I like the PS4 a lot. I think it was a strong console. It didn't really do anything different, but it didn't really have to either. Like it just beat the Xbox just because it had
like
stuff.
it let the Xbox kill itself with the Xbox One.
Yeah. But like, yeah, they were firing off all cylinders with the first party output. Not for different strokes, different folks. Like Aiden's not a big fan of but especially near the end, like Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, and what was like the
God of
last
War.
year? God of War, yeah. So like the tail end of the PS4 especially.
Well, and Last of Us 2, right? I know
Last
people
of Us
really
2.
like the first one, didn't like the second one so much.
Did you say Uncharted 4? That was a big one.
Uncharted 4 as well.
Which
Yeah,
I actually
so
didn't like.
maybe they're not my favorite, but I recognize the appeal.
Yeah, I think for me, I like the PS4. Like I have a lot of fond memories of the PS4, and maybe that's just because the PS5 is so new. But there is something to be said that we put the Series X like so high. You know what I mean? Just because of like Game Pass and user experience alone.
Yeah, and the experience, yeah.
So I think this sits right with me. What do you think, Casper? Like, would you put PS4 like higher up or maybe like above Game Boy?
Well, I probably more than the Switch because I mean I didn't really like the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think, did I like it more than the PS3? I feel like they were pretty much the same. Like they both had good games, and there wasn't really anything different other than power.
I think I agree with you, like kind of the same, but a little more to the PS4. So I guess that's why I'm kind of putting it like one step higher.
Yeah, could we move the Game Boy back behind the Switch? And then I think I agree with the order of that whole tier.
It's way better, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Though. Is the PS3 and 4 better than or worse than the Xbox?
Game Boy Advance? Oh, I see what you're saying.
So maybe we move the Xbox one over. Like we have Xbox was better than the PS3, but the PS4 was better than both of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That works for me.
And then we got the PlayStation 1. So I didn't actually have a PlayStation 1. My cousins had it, and I just played it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you got the disc-based console.
Crash Bandicoot.
Control is pretty innovative with the dual stick, the two thumbsticks, right? The library is pretty good. The library might be like on par with PS2.
I
maybe,
don't think
like-
was there that many games? I know there was a
So
lot,
the-
but I don't think it was that many.
The thing is, like, if you look at it now, okay, so like Final Fantasy VII, right? But like if you look at the PS1 version, it's like super dated. It was like in that 3D time where
Yeah,
things look
4
like shit.
discs.
Right. So I kind of want to put the PS1 like at the end of A.
Yeah.
It did play CDs too. Like you put a CD in and you can listen to your music.
If it wasn't for the PS1, Sony wouldn't be in the
Around?
console industry. Yeah, they wouldn't be around in the console
Yeah.
industry. Yeah, probably A, I think, because it's not S tier great, definitely.
No, definitely not S tier great. We got Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Crash Bandicoot 2, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy Tactics,
I know in the
Metal
beginning
Gear
of
Solid.
PS1, it didn't have the analog sticks. Do you guys
Okay,
know?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, the first controller
I
was
thought
the
that
end,
seemed
is it?
familiar.
yeah. They got Silent Hill, Spyro 2, Tekken 3. So that one did have a ton of genres, right? They also had Pro
Yeah.
Skater 2, Tomb Raider. So yeah, I think it spanned a ton of genres and the backlog is super sick. I want to say the end of A.
But it's that's the same generation as the N64, right?
I think
Right.
like tail end.
As
of
Yeah,
N64.
like-
N64.
Right, like 64 and then like a little bit later the PS1.
Yeah, no, I looked it up. The PS1 was 2000. PS1
Okay.
was year 2000. So the N64 had been out for like 4 years.
Wait, was it? Didn't the PlayStation 2 come out in like 2001 or something, or 2000? I don't.
Hold
I
on.
forget.
Oh wait.
Oh wait, was PS1 like 98?
Oh, okay, no, PS1 was 1994. The Wikipedia article for the PS2 came up
Gotcha.
before. When I search PS1 release
Yeah.
date, PS2 comes up first.
Okay, I thought
That's
it
right.
was-
94, yep.
So it actually came out before the N64, I think. Wait, no.
I think because that makes sense, right? Because that was the story. Like they were trying to work on a
Yeah, because the
on
N64.
a Sony Nintendo console with a disc, and Nintendo like went left instead of went,
So it actually
going with
it beat Nintendo to 3D, and
Right.
it did 3D really well.
Yeah, like it was
Yeah.
more technologically impressive than the N64, and the N64.
yeah, just the
came out
fact that it
later.
was disc based and wasn't restricted by like cartridge
Cartridge,
size and
mhm.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first console, or I guess it wasn't the first console to have disc, but like the first one to do it well.
Maybe
Uh,
like right after the GameCube.
But I feel like
It's
compared to the
upward.
N64, it wasn't worse or better. It's just kind of the same. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's S tier to me.
Yeah,
I-
there's something about it.
But
Like,
I do-
maybe top of A.
but it could just be because I never played it.
Yeah, that's probably like we don't have the nostalgia for this one that we do the rest.
Or 64, yeah. So maybe like
I
I'll
mean,
put it after the GameCube. And if we're wrong, just write to us in the comments. Just yell at me. That's all right.
Malice a bomb.
Yeah, now that we have Cody's address after he opened up the
Yeah,
weather app.
true. Let's do that feels good. I don't know if you guys agree.
I
but
just don't know where it should be. The PS1,
yeah, it's somewhere in A.
maybe at the
But,
top
like-
of A, so that it's like next to the.
For some reason,
N64.
though, that makes it seem like GameCube is too low, though.
The
Maybe
game-
like GameCube.
I think GameCube belongs at third. I think
Okay.
NES, PlayStation, then GameCube, because NES is just
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
that seems good. And then we
Then
got the Wii U. Got
Oh,
the
man.
Wii U.
I
I
get it out of
accidentally
who cares?
put it-
Yeah.
It won't go back now. It
It's a
won't go back.
Freudian slip. Oh shit.
The
Uh,
Wii U
hold
was, I think, the first console that I bought myself. like just me, because like other stuff I go in with my sister or
I get it
whatever.
for Christmas or
Yeah, or
yeah.
Like
anything. But the Wii U was
I know
I don't know why. I thought the Wii U was like, oh yeah, this is it.
the first party backlog is actually kind of sick, right?
Yeah,
But I
like
can't get over how stupid that fucking controller is. The Fisher
mhm.
Price piece of shit. I hate that thing. I hate
I
it.
I liked it a lot in what's it called? Wind
I
Waker.
hated it. So, Aiden, you talk
Uh,
about having to charge a PS5 controller. I hate keeping
Oh
this
yeah,
piece
that
of
thing
shit
that
yeah,
charged.
thing never came off
And
the
it
charger.
wasn't
yeah,
a micro USB or whatever. So it's like
yeah.
its own.
I mean, at least you only needed an outlet. Like with my PS5 controller, I have a
It was kind
power
of long
plug
too.
thing.
Yeah.
I've got a big ass USB-C cable. It
But it's like
works on my
so heavy.
Switch.
It's so
It works on my
clunky.
laptop. So I'm getting back into
Yeah.
PS5 mode. Like I can charge literally everything USB-C
Yeah.
except for the PS5 controller with one thing. Because Sony's
Right.
like, "Ooh, gotta get the dock, motherfucker."
Yeah. I'm still confused by it because I feel like I charge mine with
I
like my
It
iPad,
works
but that might be.
sometimes, like if the battery is low enough, inconsistently, like I can, and eventually sometimes it will charge off of just a plug, but it shouldn't be that hard. Like every Xbox controller, every Switch controller, my laptop, the Switch itself, everything except the PS5 controller. But anyway, the Wii U.
I think the Wii U is C. It feels like
Feels like a C, right?
Yeah,
because it
it's
was
like
good, but it didn't do well.
the software, and see it not only with Nintendo's first party stuff, that they're still like 4 years into the Switch existing, they're still just saying like, yeah, we need a big holiday hit release this year. Let's just port another fucking Wii U game. How about that from 10 years ago? And they're
Yeah.
still doing that. It's still like the games were really good on the Wii U.
Right.
And third party stuff started coming back because third party stuff disappeared on the Wii. It was like, man, this thing can't run anything. And also, the controller is the one weird one
The
compared to
online,
the PlayStation and the Xbox.
the
Yeah, the
online
online was
still
kind of
sucks.
shit.
Nintendo
Yeah.
just sucks at
Yeah.
online. They just
Oh
don't.
yeah. I mean, that's still
So
like the Switch is still bad too.
so you
Yeah.
say third party came back for the Wii U, but
A
then like
little
it
bit.
immediately left again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they kind of caught up a
You
bit.
could
It
get Watch
wasn't,
Dogs.
yeah, it wasn't
Ubisoft was like the mainstay. Like Ubisoft games did come out on Wii U
Zombie.
for some
It
reason.
wasn't Zombie U a Ubisoft game?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That was their big, like, here's all the cool stuff that every game is definitely going to use with this controller.
I should have
It's
gotten
just
that
like
one.
it's just way worse. Like for me, the Wii is just so much better. And it's because, we have the Wii and S tier, but like the Wii U is just
I think
it feels
bottom
like
of
a
C
C.
tier.
It had
I mean, it's an F minus minus tier for hardware, but I
Yeah.
would say I would almost argue S for
the
software
games
because it's
alone.
the best
Right.
version of the Virtual Console. It actually had some pretty decent stuff. Just
Oh.
download like indie download stuff.
You could actually download some Wii games too, couldn't you? Like was it Skyward
Well,
Sword
it
you
was
could
backwards
download?
compatible,
It was backwards compatible,
Yeah,
right?
but
so you
they
could just play anything.
near the end though they like put the Wii games on the store, some of them, so you could download it.
I don't remember that.
You could download Skyward Sword, I think Metroid Prime Trilogy, and another game. It was like 3 games, and then they announced the Switch, and they just gave up on that.
Yeah.
If they continued that, that would have been really cool. But I don't even know if you can buy games on the Wii U anymore. The store.
You still can. Yeah,
You can.
it's very close to going away. I actually have my Wii U hooked up to the TV and like plugged in and working right now to get Fire Emblem games.
Okay.
Because there's a bunch of them on like GBA and DS.
You're just not gonna be able to
Virtual
get those,
Console.
right? Yeah.
Fire Emblem, it's a series where like if you had it back in the day, you were a millionaire now because those things go for like $200 if you still have the game.
Mm.
But they're still on the Wii U.
I wish by the
So-
Wii U they made like a unified virtual console.
Yeah, where accounts shared. That would have been nice.
Yeah, or at least like
Carries over your
Yeah,
purchase from
pretty
Wii because
much.
I bought a ton of stuff on Wii.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter because on the Switch there is no virtual console.
Yeah. Like you're just hoping that they just drop it on like
Yeah.
Switch Online or whatever.
Yeah,
the hell.
actually, can we knock the Switch down a peg just for Switch Online?
Yeah, I'm saying Switch should go down. I don't like the Switch. It has so
Yeah, but-
many problems.
Yeah,
I
I
could
should-
rant
yeah,
about the
I think-
Switch.
I like my Switch more than my PS5, I think. I've
Mm.
I've had longer to have really meaningful experiences with the Switch.
right.
But
That seems
Nintendo
good right
Online's
there.
embarrassing. Like the neutering of features from the Wii U just to
Mm.
reintroduce for a subscription, but not as good.
Yeah, and you got weird stuff like voice chat through your phone. Like,
The Switch ruined the Wii U
Yeah.
version of Breath of the Wild
Mm-hmm.
because the handheld doesn't do anything.
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So like it was supposed to like be the map and like a bunch of other stuff,
Mm.
and they scrapped it all so that they could fit it both on the Switch and
Yeah,
the
I
Wii U.
remember even seeing footage of that and being like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
could ride my horse and start my inventory, which would be useful,
Mm-hmm.
but
So I
yeah.
think overall, this is a great list.
Yeah, I
I think
think
we
we have
killed
the best opinions. I think we have
Yeah.
the most objectively correct
Yeah.
opinions.
And if you're the one Nokia N-Gage fan and you want to yell at me, sure. You wish this was an F tier. I guess we kind of did Game and Watch a little dirty.
That's
I don't
But
think we really did. They
maybe F.
released Game and Watch as a Club Nintendo
Yeah,
perk thing at one point.
hmm Did you get it?
it just did like
Actually, I never got the physical one. I had a friend give me. They put a bunch of them on the DS as a
I
Game
had
and
the
Watch
DS.
like
It was like a
collection.
gold box. Yeah, that was
They-
on the Club Nintendo reward.
They weren't. Yeah, it was it wasn't good. Like, not to say I don't appreciate the gift because he might be watching.
Well, here's the thing: is that
It was the original
So-
Game Boy.
just the fact that we have like Atari so high compared to the game.
So I mean,
but they
is
did more
D
stuff.
tier.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay,
Overall, I think this is a
alright, I
great
guess
list.
I'm okay with F. Puts everything on one line per
Just
tier.
just for historic purposes, I just dropped the bottom half.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy with this list.
It's a good list.
It's the best one.
It's the best one. It's the definitive list, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we're gonna switch gears. Maybe play some.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna play some
play some
Apex
Apex.
Legends. I need water first, though.
Yeah,
That was the
I
original
agree.
plan. I was like, yeah, we'll take a quick break. Aiden, wait, actually, Casper, do you want to stop the stream and then we'll start a new one for Apex? Keep these separate.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll
All
stop
right.
the stream right now. So see ya, everyone.
If you are watching,
Just stay locked on that channel. You better subscribe so that you get a notification about the next stream.
in like 2 minutes, yeah.
Okay.